Good morning, everybody. Happy Victory Monday, and hopefully the team has one more Victory Monday in them at least this season. And hopefully that Victory Monday leads to the opportunity for more Victory Mondays the following week. And we got to talk about that a little bit here. So we're going to talk a little bit about the playoff scenario here. And before I get into anything else, I want to lay it out simple, clean, and easy for everybody. And hope that after this video is watched by people, everyone understands what's going on, because there was a lot of confusion yesterday because Fox put up a graphic that was incorrect. They said that if the Packers won yesterday, we were eliminated. That was not true. So I'm going to lay it out for Seahawks fans really simple here. It's very, very binary now. The Seahawks need to win next week against the Rams in order to get into the playoffs. On top of that, they also need the Packers to lose to the Lions to get into the playoffs. They need both. One is not good enough, and of course, two is not good enough. Zero is not good enough. They need two. Two is good enough. Seahawks need to win. Packers need to lose. Those two things happen, we are good. So it's very simple right now. Again, binary. There's no convoluted, like, we got to root for these guys and these guys, but we can't let these guys win by too much because then the BCS will vote for this school. We don't have to do any of that. All you have to do, win against the Rams at home and hope the Packers lose at home to the Lions. So now that that's understood, the complicated part here is how is the NFL going to make this play out? Because the NFL is going to be modifying the schedule and supposedly releasing it tonight during Monday Night Football. And there is a rumor that the NFL is going to break with their tradition of how they deal with playoff scenarios in the final week of the regular season. And if they do, it will be devastating for the Seahawks' playoff chances. This scenario is laid out in this tweet, but I'll describe it in further detail here. But suffice to say that if this happens, then the only thing I can say is that the NFL is making it very clear they desperately want the Packers in the playoffs, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to guarantee that it happens. So if this happens, just know that somewhere I am not happy. Wherever I hear it, wherever I am when I hear that the Packers-Lions game has moved to Sunday Night Football, know that I'm not happy. You should not be happy, and this team should not be happy, because the NFL needs to do this the right way. Okay. So the rumor, and this is just a rumor, and again, if they do this, this would break with decades and decades of tradition, is that the Packers-Lions game will be Sunday Night Football. Why is that a big deal? It would be a monstrous deal, but why? If the Seahawks win, so if they play in the afternoon, the 1 o'clock slot, or the 1:05, 1:25, whatever, if they play and they win, the Lions are eliminated. Nothing they do at that point can get them in. Will their motivations be changed, knowing that they're not going to be able to make the playoffs? It's very possible. And obviously there will be some motivation to beat a division rival, beat the Packers, sweep the Packers. Dan Campbell's still going to want to win that game. But if the Lions are eliminated before kickoff against the Packers, you have to figure that changes their motivation a little bit. To me, that game is pretty even. To me, I look at that game and I go, I don't know what to expect. Both teams are playing pretty well lately. Honestly, other than the Vikings, the Packers have mostly benefited from playing really bad teams. You could kind of say the same about the Lions, but they did beat the Vikings. Of course, so did the... I don't know. I kind of feel like the Vikings at this point are just pretty much a bad team. But however you want to splice that one up, both teams are playing well lately. I think that game could go either way, especially if it's a game of maximum motivation for both sides. But if the Lions play Lions play after the Seahawks game is over, then they're going to know. And that could affect their level of motivation. So basically, if the NFL makes the Seahawks play before the Packers-Lions game starts, then that is a huge middle finger from the NFL to the Seahawks, basically saying, we're trying to make this as convenient as possible for the Packers. And even though we are here of our own volition because we lost to teams like the Panthers and the Bucks and the Falcons and the Raiders, and even though if we had won just one of those games on top of the games that we did win, we wouldn't be in this spot. That is the NFL absolutely trying to bone us over to make sure Aaron Rodgers gets his playoff spot. Traditionally, the NFL has always made sure that as many games as possible feature as much motivation as possible from as many teams as possible. So, traditionally, both the games would be played at the same time, probably the afternoon slot. Now, there's another scenario where maybe they have the Seahawks play on Saturday and then the Packers play on Sunday, which would be the same thing, the same, preferential treatment to Green Bay. But the point is, we need the games at the same time. Or maybe we need the Packers-Lions game to be first. If the Packers-Lions game is first, then the Seahawks may very well know they're eliminated before the game. Or they will know it is a win-and-in game. So, bottom line is, it's in the NFL's hands right now. And hopefully they do this the right way. There are a couple other games that could easily be Sunday Night Football. Ravens-Bengals. Even Titans-Jaguars. Both those games would make a decent amount of sense. If they put Green Bay-Detroit, then that is trying to give Green Bay a huge leg up here. And they don't need it. They do not need it. If you want as many games as possible to be competitive, then you're going to want Green Bay-Detroit and Seattle-LA to kick off at the same time on Sunday. So, yeah, that's what's to watch for right now. The playoff scenario itself is very simple, but the scheduling makes things potentially weird. If the NFL truly wants as many competitive, intriguing, compelling games as possible, they need to make sure both games are being played at the same time. That's what I'm going to say about that. Hopefully they deliver on that. The scheduling also, by the way, just to throw this in, and I'll talk more about this maybe a little later today, affects the Seattle pick via the Broncos. Because the Chargers may or may not need to play hard in the Week 18 game against the Broncos, depending on what happens in the Ravens-Bengals game. So, hopefully the Chargers either play first, or play at the same time, or play... I guess those would be the only two options. If they play after, then they might know they don't need to win that game to guarantee themselves a seed. And therefore they may rest starters, which... the way Denver played against the Chiefs yesterday would probably be enough to give Denver the win. So that's worth monitoring. But the big turkey right now, what is the NFL going to do with this Week 18 Green Bay-Detroit game? Are they going to let Detroit go into the game not knowing if they're playing for a playoff spot? Or are they going to try to make sure that they know if Seattle's already won or not? Let me know what you guys think. We'll hopefully know tonight. Word is it's going to be announced during Sunday Night Football. And yeah, I think this is the whole enchilada because I like the Lions. I think the Lions have a real chance of winning this game. But they may need to be properly motivated. And I know they're going to try hard even if they're eliminated. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to give everything they got the same way they could if they know winning in. Or at least think it's possible it's winning in. All right, that's all I got for this one. See you guys later. Go Hawks. We'll see what happens tonight.